Now we'll do some deep talk with Avtarit, as the name suggests. We'll talk about some of the failures or some fear. You know, we'll talk about vulnerabilities, because a person getting successful, there are like 10,000 failures. And nobody talks about them. Only one success, and that's about it. And that's how people and youth, they make mistake and they quit. And I've seen a lot of people like that because of fear of failure or fear of going down. So in life, not in only professional life, in life, what has been, would you be kind enough to showcase or speak about your fear? What was your biggest fear, or what has challenged you more often than not?
See, I think what has been my biggest fear, and a lot of people can relate. I was first. I was an employee first and startup founder second.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
my biggest fear of was a word called salary. I think,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because you, in order to
Everyone does.
switch from a fixed stream of income to a variable stream of income, that was my
Right.
fear. But then I think God was kind. Plus, I think I had worked for 15 odd years, so there was, a 1 year, 2 year of runway with us, saying the house will keep running.
Yes,
Let's say
yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I see with a lot of people uh, who are jumping to start a bandwagon just because everyone else is doing. And
It's a culture. Yeah.
but that's a, I mean, we can either celebrate it, or also the third fear that I had, which maybe you or younger audiences cannot will not be able to relate it with. I was married when I started entrepreneurship. So
Okay.
I had a child when I started on entrepreneurship.
Oh,
So,
that's, yeah,
yeah,
right.
so those risks, maybe if everything, like you said, if everything falls into the scheme of things, you're considered as lucky. If everything does not falls into your scheme of things, you're unlucky in that sense. So we've been very lucky in that sense. That plus we've been lucky because we kept the costs right, lower expectations, etc., etc. So yeah, so now is the time to scale up. There are different challenges that we have, because the core team that we had built on day one has been there. Plus their skills are now a fear, because they've also gotten used to a certain
The
level of
same
functioning.
process.
In order to become better, we need to get more people on board, and so there are those intrinsic fear by the day.
So, any of your five habits, good habits, you can say, or those habits which you want you younger generation in their 20s would want to develop right now if they could.
I read a lot. I get all my knowledge from reading. So I would want people to read. Not that I don't watch OTT. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
everybody does.
this consumer, but I read a lot. I like to meet people and learn from them. I am not opinionated. I've never said, I'll not meet you because. So I meet everyone, try and learn everything from them. I think younger people are not humble. I would want them to be very humble, because see, I think picking up fights in a startup ecosystem is the easiest. Uh,
Same here. Yeah, I
yeah,
believe that.
I think, but as we call it, it's a small ecosystem. Everyone needs each other for moral, emotional, financial, mental, whatever support
Everything.
you want,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, I would also want younger people to have judging ability of people. When about 5 years back, there was a trend that everyone was a mentor. People were picking equities in companies here there. I would not blame it on mentors. I would always blame it on the supply side. The startup founders were getting so desperate that, they were making you the mentor, me the mentor, giving us equity, and then expecting us to do a lot of work. Nobody runs your business. I mean, it's our idea. You
Right.
got to run it. And just be judicial of people who you want to involve in your business model. as mentor, as investor, as partner, etc., etc. So read a lot, be judicial of people, invest in people, be humble. These are the 3 4 points that I had.
And yeah, and speaking of being humble, you know, and I think that's why, like you said, you are not opinionated in sense of not blaming a task on others, but just making sure that the other person remembers his or her responsibility well, so that you don't have to say that to that. And being humble comes to the point of having that gratitude. So would you talk about, gratitude for a moment? Like, would you think about it in a way, or you are anxious about your business so much that you don't get a time to think
No,
about?
no. Yes, there are days when you do not get time to even think about what you're trying to do, whether you're on the right track. But then there are days when you want to do that. I mean, you've got to think about people that you work with, uh, whether they are growing with you or not. You want to think about how directionally you want to take this organization from plan A to plan B or C and D. So and I have always experienced, if you are uh, um, like you, I mean, gratitude is a very strong word, but even if you are thankful to people who have helped you in any manner whatsoever, it all comes back. I think there are a lot of good people in this ecosystem who want everyone to succeed. It's
Yes.
just that how one behaves, how you behave with him or her, and how I behave would define our success.
Yeah, competing with your own self is fine, but competition with always trying to bring someone down will inculcate in you. So
That does not work. See, ultimately in a service model, uh, your the high quality service matters. In a product model, how good your product is. In any
right.
model, eventually the core of the business needs to be good, and then you becoming very nice and humble and talking straight is an added feature to it, because you will have a lot of first timers, etc. Because
Yes.
even today blockchain is equal to crypto. So I
Yeah,
think
people
how
know
I
blockchain कुछ है, but कैसे
uh,
function होता है अगर उनको, like if I tell them this is like 2000 rupee note and then they glue to the screen, okay, now he's referring, we know 2000 rupees. If I say it's a peer to peer transaction, digital
नहीं
ledger, they will leave
नहीं
it. So
नहीं
for a content creator, my job is to simplify things.
let's keep it very simple, and then after that we'll do, I want to just talk to you on uh, uh, NFTs, the bandwagon. Why is there craze amongst
And there are
the
a lot of misconceptions about NFTs. Like, people are getting into it, they don't know how to research the project, they don't know how to go about, because 99% of the projects are failing, and a lot of millions of dollars are going. Like, you saw the Twitter tweet sold
Dorsey?
for, yeah, and now the first bet was for $280.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so how much? Because it doesn't have a value. It's important
yeah.
to have a value and credibility towards it. But it was great having you on the show. Lovely talking to you. And I didn't
Thank
know
you.
that you were like this, because you came across a very, literally very humble and very giving person. And that's amazing.
I'm always
Just
like
be the way you are. And
absolute.
I
My
hope
pleasure.
Reskilll grows and grows like never before.
Thank you so much. That's the best thing that we've heard today.